Hey everyone, Jim Hannon here from Golden Stars. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. What you're looking at is what I face every night when I come out here to image. Underneath all that white covering is nothing but the mount. Everything has to be put on there before I start observing my telescopes, all my wiring, to load up the car, bring it back here. I pull that up next to the mount and use that as my office, and run the wires in. It becomes a pain in the neck. So what I am going to do today is down here, that brown tarp. On the other side is gray. And I painted it with silver, spray painted it with silver for a bright, shiny surface. Now I'm going to go ahead and set up the two telescopes on that mount, keep the some plastic waterproof covering all underneath, and then put this tarp silver side out as a sun reflector, and that'll keep the scope cool during sunny days like today. And when I come to go out at night, all I have to bring will be my batteries, my computer, and let's see, and the CCD cameras. That's the only thing I'll have. Well, a little package. It'll save a setup of over an hour worth of time. So I'll check in with you a little later as I progress with this, and then I'll explain to you what everything is when I get done. Talk to you in just a little bit. Okay guys, Jim Hannon back here, and I've got the setup complete. In a second I'll give you a tour of everything, show you how it's going to work and how much time it's going to save me at night. I have the tarp laid out, you'll be able to see that, and that'll be covering the scope. And the idea, of course, of the silver is when I anchor everything down, put plastic over the scopes to waterproof them, and then that tarp, which of course is also waterproof, is going to go over top, and the silver is going to reflect the sun's heat during the day and keep the temperature of the telescope down so it doesn't overheat, just like I used to have in my observatory. The gain from this is going to be, is all I'll do is pull up my car, hook up a couple of things. I'll show you here how they'll hook up in a second, and I'll be ready to go in 5-8 minutes, compared to half hour, not a half hour, more like an hour and 20 minutes to do everything before I can start imaging. Now it's just a matter of a couple little things to do, hook up 2 little wires, and I'm off and running after I uncover. So here, let's take a tour of the telescope and what's going on. Okay guys, and here it is. There's the telescope fully set up. Both instrumentations, there you can see. Before we do that, we'll go over here. There is the tarp. It was brown on one side, and this is the gray side. And I just sprayed the heck out of it with silver paint, so it's really reflective, and that'll keep the scope cool during the day when it's covered with that. So let's take a look at what we got here. Up on top now, this scope is 80 millimeter or 3-inch f5. So this would be a wide field imaging telescope. I could put my CCD camera on that. Of course, right now I have eyepieces in here because I had to make sure these scopes were aligned. They were bred on exactly on the same field together. I got lucky. I put everything together, set it up, and boom, they're dead set, dead even, right on when I tested them. Here is the finder scope, which I use to start looking for my images, and then it gets switched out with my auto guide camera. Of course, the white tube telescope, that's a 102 millimeter or 4-inch f7 refractor. That's the main imaging telescope. That's what I've been using out here all the time. But now I have the choice. I can use the long focus for galaxies or smaller objects, and for wider field, I can put the CCD camera on that 50 millimeter black telescope up on top. Now what I've done, and as you can see here, it's kind of harsh in this light, is this is all the wire. And this wire here is the dew heater up here. That keeps the lens free of dew. I don't have one for that one yet, but I will get one. This wire here coming off stays That's the hand control wire. The hand control will come in the house to me. I won't leave that out here. But that's the wire for it. It's tucked up under here, and that gets hooked up. Let's see what else we got here. This is the power cord wire. This goes to the battery. It's down below to run everything here, out here. And this wire here is, that's the guide camera wire. It's, the end is over here. And when I'm guiding, that goes here, and that's what guides the telescope. And then over here, there's, these are a couple of power cords. These just get plugged in for power. And that's about it. Of course, I use my car as my office. That gets pulled. I usually pull it over in this area right here, long ways this way, and then run the wires into the car, and I can sit right at my car and computer and work from in there. This setup has been out here now for a year. The Atlas mount, of course the mount. This is what's been out here all the time, and that's heavy, and that's weathered perfectly. But I had some white over it to kind of reflect it. But with this COVID going on, I have no idea when the completion. Here you can see the patio work that was done for me down here. Back there are the track extensions. I have no idea when we're going to get the slide off shed project complete. So that's why I set it up this way. And I'll just call this my tarp observatory. All this can now be left out here. It's back behind, secure behind buildings where nobody can see anything here. And the sun reflector on it. And it's just a matter of clipping a few wires together, and I'm off and running as to setting everything up that you see there on the mount before I could start before. When I was imaging with before the 50mm, her small black telescope up on top, I was not using that because I just didn't. It was just too much work to put it on when I didn't need it. But now they're both mounted together, and I can use either scope to guide to image with. So looking forward to it. Gonna try. Hopefully it's supposed to be clear tonight. Gonna try doing some work with it tonight and see how everything works out. Right now I'm gonna cover it up with the plastic bags first and some waterproofing, and then the tarp, the reflective tarp. So that's it, guys, and we'll talk to you later. Maybe I'll come back and show it to you when it's all zipped up with the covering. Welcome back, folks, and here she is, all buckled up and bundled up, and this is its weather protecting mode. It's got a couple of plastic bags over top for some extra rain protection, and then I've got a large sheet-like object with a stretchy cord around it, and it's a fairly heavy material, and I put that over the mount too. It has a little more thermal protection, and well, then those two bags go over top of that, and then the tarp goes on and is just connected with bungees and a couple of clips, just the way I've done with the bags for the past year. The wind will not take this anywhere. It's wrapped with a bungee. I'm going to get a couple more bungee cords and add a few maybe up here on the top and stuff just to make sure. But there she is. So all I do is pull this covering off, hook up a couple of wires in the computer, and I'm ready to go. Where it used to take upwards of an hour to an hour and a half to get everything hooked up and ready to go. So this should be a big improvement. Looking forward to trying it out possibly tonight, and we'll talk to you then.